Hello everyone, welcome back to MATLAB programming class. Today we're going to continue our journey in MATLAB programming with another important concept, which is not only important in MATLAB programming, but also in any other sort of programming language. It's so fundamental and useful that you will find that either directly or indirectly in other languages as well. And the topic is using loops. The structure of the for loop is very simple. The first line, let me bring up our sample files. This is the one that we used already. So the structure of the for loop is very simple. The first line identifies the loop and defines the index. So I can put it like that. For index equals, and this side, most of the time we do have a matrix. And then I will explain what are these in a minute. And then comes commands to be executed, and the last end. This is the structure of a very simple for loop. What it does is, in the first line we do have an index, and what is index is a variable that we use to count the number of the ways or the number of times we perform the commands in the second line. Therefore, depending on the number here, the index, we may have different numbers, code execution, or even the results. The last line, end, will terminate the for loop and defines that the process is finished. Most of the time, the index will be in a matrix format. For example, we come for I equals 1, 2, and 3. Then we go to next line, and as I hit enter, you see that a box will be created automatically. I, which will be the command, and the end. As soon as I type end, MATLAB automatically just sorts them to make it more easier to see. And I'm also able to click on this sign to minimize or expand it. Let's go over our example. In the first line, we do have for I equals 1, 2, 3, which is going to be our index, the matrix, and the command, the second line, will be only I. So what happens? It's very important to note that whenever the condition is true or the index is passed to a for loop, they're going to be executed one by one. For instance, for the first item I equals 1, 2, 3, the first item will be 1. So as soon as MATLAB understands that the first item is 1, the value for I will be set to 1. In the command section, we only have I. So what was the value of I in the first line? It was 1. So MATLAB puts 1 instead of I and then goes to the next line, which is end. The loop terminates for the first item in the index. Now MATLAB automatically jumps again into for to execute the second item, which is 2. Then pass it to the second line, which is command, and the value will be 2, and then to the third to terminate the second item in the loop. We only have one item left, 3. So MATLAB jumps again to 4 and starts putting 3 instead of I. Once that loop is also complete, there is no item left in index matrix, so the loop is finished. Let me save that, and now I can call it test. And as you see, MATLAB runs it one time I, the second time I equals 2, and the third time I equals 3. It's very important to note that each time MATLAB executes it, it will also show the result. However, if you right now call the I, you will see that the value for I is now only the last item. We could achieve the same result by bringing I outside of end loop. And if you do that, you see that let me clear the screen. And if I do that, test, you will see that MATLAB only shows the last value. And that's okay, because we may or may not have the command. They're optional. But the last item after end will only show the last result and the last execution. Please allow me to give you another example. So we put clear and CLC. Always put these in the beginning of your programs. That makes life much easier. So another example will be 4 as the index, k equals 1 through 4. This is another way to show the index. It can come within a vector form or a matrix form, and also in this format. As you know, it is already a vector. So for the next line, let's go a equals 6 and to power k and end. That's a very simple example. So what we expect is that when k equals to 1, the value will be 1, a equals 6 to power 1, and the result is 6. Next time, k equals 2. So it comes a equals 6 to power 2. The third time is going to be k equals 3, and the process will be followed the same as well. Let me save and call it test. If I do that, you see MATLAB the first time brings 6, 36 to 16, and the last time is this. How about the value of k at the moment? It's only 4. The last item that we executed is going to be 4. In next video, we review a combination of for and if together.